What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the show. Good to be back in action here. If you don't know, my name's Zach. I live trade futures. Used to trade Forex quite a bit. I'm now into the futures market. I'm going to be live trading some futures here. ES, the S&P on TopstepX. Topstep is my preferred prop firm. Full disclosure, I am an affiliate. Make sure you read my full disclaimer in the description of this video. Also on my website, realdealfutures.com. Happy to have you here with me this afternoon, Monday, July 1st. What is up? What's going on, Marcus? What's going on, everybody in from Discord? Glad to have you here. Going to be taking a look at ES on the 5-minute and the 1-minute chart. So long as TopstepX is not doing anything crazy. This chart was kind of bugging out earlier. Definitely on my tick chart. I noticed it on the 5-minute as well, so hopefully they've got that solved. Hey, I was messing with my mic. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay as well. What's up? What's up, Relaxing Zen? What's going on, guys? Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me, if the volume's okay. Looks straight, but I never know until I go back and watch the video. Last thing I want is the volume to be just blowing your guys' eardrums out, or it sound like I'm whispering. So. But I'll run through how my trading went this morning, and we'll see if we can't get some trading in the afternoon here. Stream looks good. Awesome. Volume good. All right, let's run it, guys. Let's run it. As you know, ask questions in the chat. I will get to them. We'll have this be a solid session. So I got the 5-minute chart over here in the corner. I have the 100-tick chart that I've been liking on ES. The mini, the micro, I noticed are a little bit different. I'm back to trading the mini contract just to force myself to scale up. I've got too many combines, and I'm trading well, and it's time to make some progress passing or failing them. The micros are super cool. I'll definitely go back to trading them once I start trading one of the XFAs that I've got, just to scale down in size. But back to the mini. So I sent these charts out this morning. You guys got my 5-minute and my 30-minute chart zoomed out. You saw my levels. If you guys have questions on that, hop in the free Discord. You can get that every morning. I go through usually sending a voice message along with a couple charts, letting you know what I'm looking at, kind of my subjective view of the market. I try not to marry a bias coming into it. I don't feel like that serves me at all. But I go through my markup. You see what I've got on my charts. You can see my levels, what I'm using for the day, and by hopping on these lives, you will know how I trade. So we opened up on a bullish move right before the 5-minute candle. Started to push up a little bit higher here on the tick chart. But as you can see on the 5-minute, we really started to sell off, come back down towards pre-market low. I was getting short as we started breaking down really early on here, first couple minutes of the session, first 10 minutes, let's say, down to pre-market low. Pre-market low right here. Looking on the 5-minute and the 100 tick, I'm trying to understand where I'm at with everything. So this is where we're at right here on the 5-minute. This is the view on the 100 tick chart. This is what we're looking at right here, this V. Got short coming down. That played out very nicely. Got long for an aggressive buy right off of pre-market low. Does it always work out like this? No, it certainly doesn't. This one played out nicely. I didn't ride this all the way back up. I think I took some profit over here on it. Quick scalp trade. Got long again, back up to VWAP, took some profits at VWAP, and then as we started to come back down again, you could bet I was selling on the way down, and I stayed aggressive, jumping back in as we started breaking down through pre-market low, pushing all the way down to prior day low. So I had some solid wins this morning, couple losses in between there, small losses. Again, obviously, if you know that I hit max profit on 2 combines, a daily loss on another, and then a small amount of profit on a 4th combine, I got some trading in. That was my goal. Again, as I've been talking about, I've got a lot of combines in rotation. I've got stuff that's resetting. Certain times I've got to put more risk on and get more aggressive than others. Today, this week was one of those times. I'm also aware that we have news coming up the rest of the week. It's going to limit some of my opportunity to trade unless I'm just YOLOing it through news. So if the market's presenting itself, giving me the conditions that I like to trade, I'm hopping in. And this is it, man. Using the same stuff that I always use, nothing crazy. I will say I've got Bookmap loaded up on the side. I'll talk to you guys about that. That was fun to watch as well. But, again, consolidating, right? So like if I'm looking at this chart, let's jump out to the 30-minute and I'll kind of give you guys the overview. All-time highs, right? We know we're pushing up. We know long America, right? The markets push up. Consolidation here, right around this all-time high level. This is kind of what we've been seeing in this cycle of pushing up, breaking up higher, past all-time highs, consolidating, coming off a little bit, and then, maybe another break for an all-time high. I've been watching this, right? Looking back through over the last couple weeks of trading that I've missed. We've been consolidating. So in this area, I'm looking to trade to and from levels on my chart. Maybe I'm going to get really aggressive like I like to do in the morning and just take the trade at the level. Maybe I'm going to be waiting for some trend to develop like I did today as well, a little bit later in the morning. But I would like to be long this market. Today, I definitely was getting short more than I was getting long, and it paid out. But consolidating a little bit. Again, we started to just break down below prior day low and then came right back up into the range that we've been trading in. But let's hop back out, and I'll try to just break this down one more time for you guys. So nice. We start selling off, coming back down through the session VWAP. So I just want to make sure everything's lined up. You got to do that with TopstepX, so the VWAPs line up. Just so we know what we're looking at here on my chart, a bunch of levels, obvious, right? That explains itself. This is the session VWAP, just the indicator standard settings. This is an anchored VWAP. Coming over here on the drawing tools, this is the anchored VWAP drawing tools. This is anchored to NYSE open here at 9:30 a.m. As price started to sell off through this, we kind of got a little bit of a reaction, and it looked like we were going to continue down through it. I took that trade targeting pre-market low. Simple trade. I look for that early in the morning from pre-market high and low and VWAP to and from those levels. It's all based on the context and my discretion on that day to say, hey, I'm going to take this trade, or hey, I'm going to hold off because it just doesn't look right. I'm using the market structure that's forming in pre-market. I'm using the trend. I'm using where we are on that higher time frame to decide whether I'm going to enter. Here, as we came down aggressively hard to it, I took this aggressive buy. These don't play out. You've seen me take them sometimes and just take the loss on them. But given the right context, these trades play out enough times to make them dangerous, to make them profitable for me. So this one worked out really, really well. Again, trading back up towards VWAP. Once we started to come off again here and break down below, react, not really continue up through this VWAP like we were going to flip bullish here and continue up moving, I got short. I didn't enter right here. I might have been taken out with this price action. Maybe not. Maybe I would have just gotten a nice entry. I probably wouldn't have been. A better entry would have just been a super aggressive entry here. But didn't take that. Got short on the way down and then continued to get short as we were just breaking through this level that we tested once here. The more times the level's tested, the less it is respected. There's some, there's some axioms that go along with that. But once I saw this get broken right through, quick break and retest and then continue, I got short somewhere down here, targeting prior day low. That played out really nicely. We started to bounce a little bit. As you can see on the 5 minute, you don't even really see this action. And then since we kind of chopped around here, all the way back up to pre-market low, all the way back down below prior day low, put the low in for the day down here. I've got a low of day anchored VWAP, and we've watched price trail all the way back up, push through. This is when the chart was jacked up, so I don't know that this is exactly what this would have looked like if TopstepX didn't have an issue today and the chart wasn't jacked up. But you can see it on the 5 minutes, so I mean that looks okay. Pushed up through VWAP pretty hard, and now we've kind of been back up into the range. Not kind of been. We're back up right into the middle of the pre-market high and low range, and we're kind of just chopping around sideways. So in classic fashion here we are in the afternoon. I'm looking to get some trades in, and I don't have great conditions to do so. I'm going to wait to see what we get from here. This late in the day, approach is the same. I don't get as aggressive off of levels, especially once they've been tested and blown through like this. But I will utilize maybe a little bit more price action and market structure as an indication that I want to get involved in the market. And same deal, trade towards levels on the chart, areas of interest. Right now, this is looking like just a rangy, choppy day. Selling pressure that didn't follow through, cracked below prior day low a couple times, cracked below pre-market low, but right back up into this area of consolidation. So I'm going to wait to see if this is one of those, we're going to go towards all-time highs in the afternoon for whatever reason, or if we're going to come back down and just start a slow trickle back down to maybe towards pre-market low, prior day low. So I don't have a strong bias either way. I certainly don't have an entry right now. I'm going to stay patient, see what we get. But on the heels of me making that comment that I want to get aggressive with some of these combines, I'd like to get some trading in. Outside of that, I'll answer some questions, and I'll talk to you guys about Bookmap, which has been pretty cool. What's up, guys? Hear you good. Loving the 100-tick chart. Yeah, man, 100-tick chart is cool. This is totally, I like to give credit where credit's due. I've been making that more of a point in my talking about trading. This is straight up coming from Dakota at Topstep. I knew what the 100-tick chart, I knew what the tick chart was before watching Dakota trade with this setup side by side. It wasn't available to me in TradingView. I don't want to be wrong about it, but as far as I've checked up until recently, it's not available even with the highest paid non-professional subscription with TradingView. It is available in TopstepX, so it's pretty sweet. Interesting, it's not a time-based interval. It's based on a volume amount traded, the amount of ticks traded. This is the 100-tick chart. They have different variations of that, 500 tick, 1,000 tick. This is pretty zoomed in. I would say it's more zoomed in than a 1 minute chart. I like to have a 5 minute side by side with it, but so far it's been really cool. If I have to do a little bit better job of explaining why I like this chart, one, I find myself being more of a market structure guy. I like to see structure and trend form, and rather than individual candlestick patterns or even chart patterns when it comes to looking at individual candlesticks. Chart patterns will kind of be more market structure. But market structure seems to be increased visibility in place of candlesticks, right? Because we're not getting, individual time-based candlesticks like on the 1 minute or the 5 minute. Along with that, it gives you a good read of momentum and volume. As more volume comes into the market, more prices are being traded, more ticks are being traded, the candlesticks pick up. They start printing more rapidly. And it can kind of consolidate areas of low volume and maybe consolidation. And it can really over-exaggerate when, volume's coming in and maybe we're going to break out. Maybe a trend is going to start forming. We're going to see stuff. Running. So, I mean, again, nothing magical here. Like, I don't think one is going to provide an insane edge over the other when we're looking at this type of stuff. It's just about preference. I saw it again watching Dakota trade, scaling into and out of positions on NASDAQ and other instruments that he trades. So I wanted to give it a shot again, coming from like the 1 minute, fairly similar, low time frame, and I like it. One thing again I'll say about it is I like to have something side by side with the 100 tick. It's just too zoomed in. The 1 minute, maybe I zoom out enough on the 1 minute and I can see quite a bit. But this is pretty zoomed in. So if you were going to look at a tick chart, maybe you consider throwing a 5 minute or a 15 on the side, something like that. Well, you went crazy this morning, dream of catching the long. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it went well. It went well. It doesn't always go well. You guys see the red days. I share that stuff as well. Today was a solid day. My approach, the way that I trade, played out well today. I was able to read the market, and the way that I trade was in agreement with the market quite a bit today. Not all the time, as you saw. Hit a DLL on an account. I think that was 3 trades, 3 losses. Maybe it was 2, and then I cut the last one short. But enough to make a profit, so that's cool. How do you keep updated with the news? Great question, man. Look at what I have up here. New to the channel. Welcome, David. Here's what I've got, man. forexfactory.com. This is my favorite for the news. Simple, forexfactory.com. Yes, it's Forex related, but we're looking at financial news on this site. What you'll see here, quick breakdown of this, folders based on the impact. Red folder being highest impact, orange folder being medium impact, yellow folder, which I have it filtered over here. If you click this button right here, you can filter for low impact news events or whatever you want. This would be holiday, which is important to know, right? Like Thursday, we've got a U.S. holiday. We don't want to be trading maybe during a U.S. holiday. Maybe you want to. If we look at news, the reason I had this pulled up so I could talk about it, we got a lot of news this week, right? We had news this morning. Not a whole lot that I was concerned about not trading through. I kind of made a comment that this isn't major news. Yes, it has the ability to impact the market, and it certainly should increase volatility, but it's not something like a non-farm payroll or unemployment that we're going to see later this week. We have a lot of news this week, and we've got a shortened trading week with July 4th on Thursday. So if you look at this chart, this is an EST, Eastern Standard, so the New York time zone. We've got 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. We've got Jerome Powell speaking. That's a wild card move. 10 a.m. We've got Jolt's job opening. 2 red folder events that I would be cautious of tomorrow. Early in the session, right at the open. Good potential to jack up trading for me and for everybody else that trades NYSE Open. Wednesday, stacked with news again. We've got red folder 8:15, 8:30, orange at 9:45, 10 a.m. red folder. Ton of high impact news coming into the open and then through the open. These are major market movers. Major market movers, right? Not always, but like traditionally, there's some events that are larger. FOMC, non-farm payroll, unemployment. These are major market movers. Here's your non-farm employment, right? This is NFP is Friday, right? Yeah. Here's your non-farm major market movers. Unemployment rate. Not unemployment rate. Non-farm employment. Yeah, an unemployment rate. Again, 8:30 a.m. on Friday. So the reason I wanted to display this makes for a difficult trading week, right? Like if I primarily trade NYSE Open, that's my main session, and then I trade in the afternoon. Afternoon should be okay on some of these, but the morning will definitely be jacked up. I don't really want to be trading through any of these unless I'm trying to YOLO an account or bracket orders and test that, which you guys have been watching me do and it not work. In the afternoon, there might not be news, but the structure that forms and the nonsense that happens in the morning can certainly impact my ability to trade well in the afternoon, right? If we have huge news spikes all over the place and maybe consolidation in between, or the market just runs, it can make for difficult conditions to trade. So be aware of this stuff. You decide for yourself how you want to. Yeah, no problem, man. You decide how you want to trade or not trade through this, how you want to manage risk. I won't make this a whole news session, but that's that. The channel. Liberator, how much? Well, what's up, man? Welcome back. I know you're on here. How much can a profitable trader of 4 years of experience in the market make with 1 million in funding? That is an impossible question for me to answer without any just BS underlying it. It completely varies on a number of factors. I have no idea how that person might trade, the way that they trade, their frequency of trading, and how much risk they're going to take on. You would need all of that information, and then even still, you would just be kind of taking a guess. So I have no idea how to answer that one. What I will tell you is, number one, I wouldn't worry about comparing yourself to anybody else or to try to estimate a future, amount of money being made. I don't think that stuff is very helpful. I think if you kind of leave that stuff in the dust and you focus on the process, you focus on getting better at trading, developing your trading plan, your risk management, rather than the money. I think most people will tell you you'll be much better off. The money is a byproduct, right? Doing well and making that money is the byproduct of good trading. So focusing on the money is kind of like just looking at the finish line at the start of the marathon. You've got to take 26 plus miles in there before you're looking at the finish line. So you probably want to focus on the first couple miles and what you're going to do there. So that's that. And then even that, man, trading's like non-linear. The payment for trading is very non-linear. That's the best way that I've heard it described. You might have a month, or I might have a month where I do really, really well. Everything's great. We make a whole lot of money. We're on a win streak. It's great. Next month might be super slow. We might have a lot of consolidation. Maybe it's summer months like we have coming up. Just unfavorable conditions, and we don't want to trade. So it's very non-linear. To be able to put a dollar amount to it, it's pretty difficult. I'm watching a breakdown here towards this VWAP. I don't really love getting short like this. We're above the low of day anchored VWAP here. We're above session VWAP. We're above the New York session VWAP, the anchored New York session VWAP. We're coming down towards it. Maybe a little scalp trade back down here would be okay. But I'm just going to hold for right now. I want to see if we come down here, do we start to react and then push back up, or do we start to trail through these VWAP lines through this level? So this is looking bearish right now on the 5-minute and the tick chart. Looks very likely to come down here, tap this VWAP, even more, or also likely to come down and tap pre-market low. Not enough for me to get short on it just yet. I wouldn't want to get a stop loss all the way up here just to target this area. Not a great way to structure risk on this. Stop loss right here would be too tight for me, but this is me explaining why I'm not taking this trade at the moment. 124. We'll kind of see what happens from here. Yeah, here's the crank right back up. So we'll just wait and see. We're kind of got this channel trending down at the moment. If I look at the tick chart, 5 minutes not as well defined, but looks like we're headed back down towards pre-market low. I'm going to wait to see. Maybe this is consolidation. Maybe we just need to come back and fill a little bit of this gap, this imbalance here. Maybe we're going to tap VWAP and come back up. Just wait and see. I don't have anything yet. Again, I want to trade with you guys here. This is choppy nonsense back up into the middle of the range. This is good trading opportunities for me. This on the way back up, had I been trading, I don't know that I would have been jumping to get long after all of this on the way down and a lower low. I didn't, and I probably wouldn't. And I don't know that I would want to be getting long right here as we're tapping VWAP. I probably, if anything, would be losing a trade, getting short off VWAP here. So just going to wait on this one for right now. We'd be going over Bookmap. So, drum roll. I bought Bookmap, and I've been playing with Bookmap. It's very, very interesting. I'll try to move this onto the screen so you can take a look at what it looks like, and hopefully I won't mess up my whole stream here. Hang on one second, guys. Let's see. Someone asked if I'll be going over Bookmap, which I watched today, and it was fun to pay attention to. Yeah, very cool. Nice. You guys can see this, I believe. Let's just double check. Stream still looks good. So, this is Bookmap. Bookmap is an order flow tool. Allows you to visualize orders that are on the market. It does a number of different things. This stuff is way, way more advanced than I can even speak about. Today, I've been studying it, been paying attention to a lot of stuff on it. I talked a little bit about looking at footprint charts. I thought Sierra charts might be the way that I would go as I was going to pay more attention to order flow and experiment with this stuff. Did a comparison, did a review, watched what a lot of other guys are using, took a look at, my style of visualizing, and decided that Bookmap was the one that I was going to purchase and start learning, dedicating some time to trading with it. It's really intuitive. I found it pretty easy to set up right off the bat. You have to purchase the software. And again, I'm just going to give you guys a brief overview of what I've done so far because I'm not a Bookmap expert. Until I have experience on this stuff, I'm not going to provide bad information on it. I'm going to provide my reviews on it, what I'm using it for, how I'm using it, and then as I get more experience and get some data behind it, I'll be able to really speak, in more detail on it. But again, I don't know half the stuff that's on here yet. So, but just to go over, if you guys want to look at it, they got a cool site. Bookmap is a site. I'll get rid of that now. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Bookmap. Go to the site. They've got a couple different packages. I chose the second to most expensive one, Global, I believe it's called. Global Plus just gives you some extra features that I figured I wasn't going to be able to learn on the front end. Maybe I'll upgrade to that if I decide I want some of those features. But this one gives you the heat map, the order book. You could look at depth of market. You could look at all the volume information. You get the heat map, the volume bubbles, the whole deal. Essentially, what this is showing you is liquidity in the market. This is showing you resting orders. This is the history, right? This is all history that's printed. It's showing you price here. It's showing you best bid and best ask. It's showing you price in the form of volume bubbles. You can put candlesticks on this chart. Most guys leave it as is. And it's showing you looking at a depth of market. This is the order book, right? Current order book. If I scroll over it, does it tell me? Maybe. Okay. This is current order book. This is your volume profile for what's visible on the chart. This is the session volume profile. But as you could see here, looking at the sell orders, you can see where orders are in the market. Whether or not this is so much better than depth of market, I think a lot of that stuff is out for debate. But this is a nice visualization tool. I'm a visual guy. I like to see things on a graph, things that are quick and easy to understand. If I'm going to use it, it needs to be as simple as possible for me. This is adding a really complex piece to my trading. So, it's going to take me a little while to decide how useful it is to me. But coming over from Forex into the futures market where this stuff is available, we have reliable data coming from a centralized exchange, right? That's how futures works. We have reliable volume data. We have, the order book. Not at least experimenting with this stuff. I feel like I'm doing myself and anybody else that I'm speaking to a disservice. I want to be able to at least go through it and say, hey, I don't like it or I don't find it useful. I don't think it's going to be the case because this thing was pretty sweet to watch today. I'm not going to talk about the details of it. I'm not going to talk about the strategy of it. I know this gentleman jumped on and asked be going over Bookmap. This is essentially what it looks like. Again, it's an order flow tool. It's showing you liquidity in the market. This is ES. This is the price range, right? If I scroll out, you can see down here there is a time scale. It's not time based in the sense of having a specific time frame on the chart. You can put candlesticks and you can set those to a specific time frame, but it's showing you in the form of a heat map where orders are sitting, where the large orders are, or large volume of orders are. Again, I don't want to speak incorrectly about it. It shows you volume traded. It shows you where price is. This is the stuff that's sitting out. This is future. This is the current order book. This is all historical. You've got cumulative volume delta down here. I won't speak too much on that, but it's been interesting to watch. Very interesting to watch. I'm studying it. I'm studying guys that run strategies based around order flow. It's going to take me a while to be able to really, I think, utilize this in any real sense of the term. But again, it's been interesting to watch how prices reacted around these areas earlier this morning, around where my levels are, to see where liquidity is in relation to my levels, to see what the order book looks like coming into news. Gets really, really thin. You can see kind of liquidity come off the market. You can see right at the open, liquidity be injected into the market. You can see some of these orders move around. It's been interesting to watch. Again, tons of different settings on this stuff, lots of different tools you can add and remove, different ways this chart can be displayed. It's pretty intense. So, this would be like way more zoomed in on it. You can see different price levels. You can see the heat map showing where orders are. You can see how it lines up with the order book, showing the volume of orders. So it's really cool, really interesting. I'll be learning more about it. I think I'm going to find it helpful. It was fun today from a elementary style looking at it. And I found it useful to watch today from the side. So I'm excited to talk more about this stuff as I learn more about it. Again, I think you guys know my style. I'm not the know-it-all guy. I'm not the, tell you something that I don't know to be true. I want to experiment with it myself, gain the correct experience, decide how I'm, going to utilize it or not utilize it, and then, speak more on it. But I'll be watching it as I'm trading on the side. If there's something interesting to talk about from here, I'll talk about it. If you guys have questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Right now, I'm not in a position to break this stuff down and give you a full course on Bookmap. I'm still learning myself on it. So it's interesting. One comment I'll make, I talk a lot about keeping things simple. I talk a lot about not searching for the holy grail in trading. I don't believe it's out there. I believe it's inside you. I don't believe Bookmap is the holy grail. Maybe I find it very, very useful. Maybe it helps me, generate more money in the market, keeps me out of bad trades, helps me with stop loss and targets. Maybe it increases my edge. Maybe. That said, I do, as I'm always talking about new things, I think it's important to note, if you're early on in your journey and you haven't developed some kind of consistency, I would really try to argue against exploring too many new tools. Keep things very, very simple. Find something that resonates with you, whatever tools you're going to use, and focus on your psychology, your mindset, building confidence in whatever system you're trading, your ability to manage risk, and try to make steps in the right direction that way. So again, I'm in this for a while. I've got consistency. Coming to the futures market opened the door to a lot of new things. I want to experiment with new tools and find out if there's something that can help me, right? If there's information that I can process and use in a quick time frame in my trading, I want to know about it. So order flow using Bookmap is my next step. So I'll keep you guys updated on this. This is what it looks like. Hopefully I will like it, and I'll be able to fill you guys in on more info, how I'm using it, my settings, all that type of stuff. But it was, again, really cool to watch. Not terribly inexpensive. I mean, you know what the saying is, cheap shit's not good shit's not cheap. That's where I was going at the beginning of this. The subscription on a monthly basis, if you paid by the month for this program right here, is $50 a month just for the software. and then you need a data feed coming into it if you don't have one from another source. So I've paid for that. I think it's $35 or $40 a month for that. So if you were doing this on a monthly subscription, you're at like somewhere around that $80 to $90 a month. Again, they've got a tier higher than this with some additional indicators and tools and readings. I didn't find that I would need that. I think this version had everything. That one's like double the price. It's $100 a month. Same thing. You need the data feed coming in. There's also a bunch of add-ons for this stuff that's billed on a monthly basis. So it can get a little bit pricey, but I think this is a solid setup for me right now. Pretty high tier with the best data coming in. And, I really want the heat map. I want to be able to look at the order book and, watch the market that way. Gives me volume, gives me, cumulative volume delta, different volume tools on there. So I will keep you guys updated on that. I made a joke today, so nobody's going to tell me about Bookmap. Bookmap was trading, like cheating. It's cool. Really, really cool to watch. Really, really cool to watch that in the market as you're trading. So I'll keep you guys updated for sure. All right, man. David, going through questions. Yeah, so just give me a second here. Pausing. Coming back to looking at the market. Not a whole lot, man. I kind of want us to get out of this. I'm more, even down here, like I was saying, maybe we're coming down to test this. That obviously failed all the way back up. Stop loss would have been almost hit. I'm more inclined to get long today, even with this action here. Just thinking we're going to kind of come trail back up towards pre-market high, towards the high of the day. But I don't have any setup here. This is just kind of wide, choppy consolidation. That's how I would classify this. After a push up, not a pullback down and continuation, nice and clean. Not a failure to move higher and a start to sell off. This is just sideways price action right now. So I'm going to wait and see what we get. And I'll keep answering questions. If you guys got questions, ask them in the chat. Thoughts on Tradeovate? Why TopStep? I'm currently using Tradeovate at the moment, but I'm considering changing platforms. So I was using Tradeovate first with TopStep. I'm assuming that's what you're doing. Nothing wrong with Tradeovate. I thought the platform was pretty cool. I like charting on TradingView. So when I was using TopStep and Tradeovate, I was integrating it with TradingView, which you can do. You can integrate Tradeovate with TradingView. I know these are all the very similar T words, so I'm going to try not to mess it up. I found there was some lag when I integrated I messed it up. When I integrated Tradeovate with TradingView, utilizing TopStep as the firm. I noticed that lag. I really didn't like that. I didn't want to start charting on Tradeovate. So once TopstepX rolled out, that was an easy choice to test that out. They've got TradingView charts on the platform. I find it very intuitive. I found it very easy to use once I got kind of started to get used to it over the last few weeks, and it's been fine. So yeah, my biased preference, because I'm a TopStep affiliate, I'm not getting paid to use TopstepX or anything like that, but it's worth noting. There's no encouragement to use TopstepX or over any other platform, but worth noting, full disclosure. But I like TopstepX. Seems to work pretty well. I don't have issues with speed. I don't have many chart issues outside of today when we had that like odd thing going on. Simple TradingView chart. I'm familiar with all the tools on TradingView. I like the way it works. So it's easy. They got a mobile app now. It's kind of like a web page, but it functions as an app. They've got some cool features on here, so I've liked TopstepX for sure. Outside of that, they offered an insanely cheap 50K combine and other combines when they rolled this out for the first 2 weeks. So I hit them on the head with that, took full advantage, and after I bought one and tested it, I didn't just jump right in and say, oh, I'm going to use the cheap stuff. Obviously, that's not the goal, right? Like if there's an advantage using something that's more expensive, I'm going to go for that. But once I used the platform for a week, I liked it. I loaded up on combines with TopstepX. It's been good so far. Trading Tradeovate through TradingView is a tongue twister. Yes, it is, man. I tried. I almost got it. But yeah, nothing wrong with Tradeovate. If you said, hey, you're going to go trade and you're not going to use TopstepX, I would go right to Tradeovate. I would chart on TradingView, and I would trade directly from the Tradeovate platform. That's probably how I would do it. I would just prefer not to have, that two charts going at the same time if I don't have to, right? Like, this is my chart. This is what I'm going to trade from. Now all I've got on the side is Bookmap. I used to have another TradingView chart sometimes as I was getting used to TopstepX with ES or maybe with another instrument. But I can chart and trade right from the TradingView chart within TopstepX. So that works out well for me. Bull flag forming on the 5 minutes. Yeah, man, I see that. I see what we got coming on here, man. I think you guys know me. I'm not the big chart pattern trader, but we can call this somewhat of a bull flag here, right? Look for something along these lines to pop up and happen. Right, if we were chart pattern traders. Nothing wrong with that. If you could find a way to structure risk, I think that's fine. Again, if you said like gun to your head, you got to go long or short, I'm going long. I was definitely too hesitant to take it down here. I think this is more likely just to pull this BS trickle move to the upside. There's not a gun to my head, and we haven't done anything but chop around here. So unless I was just selling the top of this range and buying the bottom, I would probably be in drawdown right now. So we're hanging out. We're hanging out, talking trading, talking platforms, talking tools, and waiting to see if we can get some trades going, man. Oh, on NQ. That's fair. How much does Bookmap or Heatmap cost, if you don't mind? Yeah, so I think I answered that, man. They've got like 4 different plans. I think you need at least the second to most expensive one. That's one that I got. It's like $40 a month on a yearly subscription, $50 a month if you pay by the month, and then you need data. I think if your broker gives you data or you're already paying for real-time data from one of the data feeds they connect to, you can use that. For me, I don't have that, so I paid for data. You can choose, a number of different ones. Bookmap has their own data also, connected right to the CME, the way they describe it, fast, low latency. That was, I believe the number's $34 a month or $37 a month. So you're looking at around that, like if you pay by the month, around that $80 to $90 mark for that setup that I have there. There's a step higher than that, which has some additional features to it. Same heat map, same tools, just some added indicators and like even more readings and even more markings on the chart. That's, I think, $100 a month if you pay by the month. And then same thing, you need the data feed going into that. There's more add-ons that guys use, popular ones from what I've been reading about, that are billed monthly if you wanted them as well. But for me, being able to get the data, the heat map, use the order flow, use the order book that they have right there, all the volume. The heat map is really what I wanted there with the volume. So we'll see. We'll see in the future. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. That's how I'm doing it. I get latency from TradingView. Could be a little frustrating live. Yeah, man. Yeah, I noticed, like, I'll tell you how I felt it first, right? Like I could feel if something's moving slow, the execution side. But I was live recording my screen, and I can look between the TradingView P&L that's showing based on price moving and the P&L showing on Tradeovate. There was discrepancy. Like one was not by a lot, but one's lagging behind the other. That just doesn't sit well with me, right? Like I need the fastest data. I need the most relevant data that's coming out right now so I can make decisions. I'm not scalping, for the most part, but I want the fastest data. I don't want to deal with any lag if I can avoid it. For the most part, is it going to affect my P&L? Probably not. Unless you're scalping on the second chart, stuff like that. But I want the data. I don't want to deal with any lag. So TopstepX has been pretty sweet for that. Again, so yeah, gun to my head here, like buy. This looks like a breakout to the upside. It looks like it wants to go. That bull flag looks like maybe it's going to hold true. I'm not a big pattern guy. Just not my thing. I keep things as simple as I possibly can. Again, I have to grain of salt it as I'm adding bookmap in, which is not it's not so simple first, by the way that it looks. The way that you can use it is pretty simple, but I don't really take trades. I don't take trades off of patterns on the chart, like individual chart patterns or even candlestick patterns. Look at market structure and price action as a whole. 1:46 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, I'm gonna hang with you guys. I want to get some trading in this afternoon. I'd like to take a trade. If we start to break up to the upside, maybe I'll look to get long, tight stop, run it towards pre-market high. We start to come back down. I'm probably going to be slower to act and just see if we are going to start to come through pre-market low. I think if we come down here, we have a chance to just pull the bounce around and then come back up slowly. I'm not going to be buying on the way down here. That opportunity, that ship sailed when we didn't come down and then react to go higher already. So we'll hang out, man. If you guys got questions, let me know. Feel free to ask them in the chat. Happy to provide whatever info I can. It's been good to be back. If you guys aren't in the free Discord, talk about that. Hop in the free Discord. Market analysis, live trading every day. Ability to ask me questions, share my charts, talk about the news of the day that's coming out every day. I've been getting better about sharing charts and doing analysis every morning by way of voice message for a few minutes. Took a scalp. Nice, man. Up 800 for the day. I'm just here trying to buy. Very nice, man. Very nice. Very nice. But yeah, hop in the free Discord, man. Growing exponentially. 360 members as of today. That's pretty sweet. I've got some other stuff cooking, which I'm excited about. Later this month, I think we'll see even more growth coming up soon. So I'm happy to have you guys in here early. Checking out. Marcus from the Discord, not a trading book, but it translates. Yes, subtle art of not giving an F. I won't say it on here, but yeah, that's probably a good one. I've heard the title. I haven't read that. I was talking a lot about trading books yesterday. It was Sunday. I was listening to Best Loser Wins again for I don't know how many times, 4 or 5 times. But yeah, I'm a fan of trading books, man, or any book in the field that you're studying. I don't consider myself a book guy. I'm not a great reader. Like, I'm not a fast reader. I listen to stuff on audio tape, audiobooks, and I've incorporated that into trading over the last few years. If you find a way to listen to a book on tape while you're doing something else, like a mindless activity, like working out for me, was doing a lot of endurance sports over the last couple years, running, cycling for long periods of time. I could run through books, man, a couple a week. And what I said, there's a lot of great ones out there, right? If you start with the stuff that everybody recommends, you're probably not going to go wrong. Even if it doesn't resonate with you, even if it's not a book that you like, maybe you don't think it's great quality, or it's just you don't like the way that it was told, you're almost always better off for hearing that information. Maybe you gain some perspective. Maybe you gain 1 or 2 small pieces of information that you can utilize. I've never finished one and said I'm worse off because of that. I know less, or even if I didn't agree with the information, like the information's bad for me. So I'm a big fan of that, man. 2 of my favorites, Trading in the Zone, say it all the time, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas and Best Loser Wins by Tom Hogard. Both psychology books, both awesome books. If you haven't read either of those, I highly suggest you do. I suggest you get off my stream and you go and buy one of those books and you listen to it while you work out, or while you're driving to and from work, or while you're cleaning up your house, or whatever you're doing. You should find the time to do that, man. And then outside of those, there's a dozen more solid ones in trading. I'm a big fan of the psychology and mindset stuff to listen to. Technical analysis, I'm usually probably sitting down, reading about it or studying it, looking at it on the chart, that type of deal. But yeah, they are solid. Nice. Marcus says switching the music out for for Audible is something I'm working on because I listen to music like all day. Yeah, dude, I feel you. I used to listen to music, right? Like when I would throw headphones in, I would just be listening to music, and just swapping it out for a book. Maybe it's a little bit annoying at first, but if you start to like the books that you're listening to, man, you can run through them, and absorb a ton of information. In my case, so there's a lot of good trading books out there. There's a lot of good just general mindset and psychology books, like the one that you recommended, that probably relate to trading in a very translatable way. I think they're great to listen to. That's the way I would do it. I'm not saying like, okay, everybody's got to find time. Like that's probably not realistic. Everybody's busy. We got lives, we got families, we got to work. Whatever it is. But if you could find some mindless time to throw that in and maybe catch a half hour a day, even if it's just that, you'll crank through books, man. And I think you'll be better off for it. I don't know anybody that reads books and is dumber afterwards or is worse off afterwards. I don't think that happens. If you guys want other suggestions, ask me in Discord. I'll go through my list, stuff that I've read, and give you some input. Still chopping around here. Still chopping around, ES. Yeah, a whole lot of nothing, man. Whole lot of nothing. Again, I want to trade. I've been very conservative on these afternoon sessions, mostly because I get crap like this. I don't want to just enter to enter. I don't have a setup. I want to hop on here and trade with you guys, but this is just not it. So I'm gonna wait though. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. Probably over an hour as it is. No, 52 minutes. So we're hanging out. Marcus says, I want to get Tom's book next and need to finish Trading the Zone. Yeah, man. They're similar. They're both similar books. They're both mindset books. They have a similar message. Some of the stuff when it comes to the nuances of trade management, they differ for sure, but they both tell good stories. They really help. They help to do a number of things, but I think for a lot of guys, Mark Douglas and Tom Hogarth do a good job of explaining what really separates successful traders from everybody else. And it's not the chart that you're trading on. It's not a special indicator that, one of the top guys have or anybody that you see trading has. It's the person, right? So how do we start to understand how to make improvements in that area? And that's what those books do a good job of demonstrating. So I encourage you to start, read those books and then try to reflect on that if you've read them already. That's the more technical analysis is usually not the answer. You probably have, if you're here, you probably understand technical analysis pretty well. You probably can understand trend. You can read a chart pretty damn well. Maybe you need a little bit more experience and you'll get better with experience. But it's about the understanding of probabilities, the understanding of win rate and risk to reward, and the amount of wins and losses that you'll see in a random distribution of trades, and then being able to continue to use your technical analysis and risk management abilities to trade well, to execute efficiently through all of that different distribution of wins and losses. I think that's where most guys struggle. That's where I struggled, and I think that's where most guys struggle. Everybody's fine on trade number one with a fresh account. Once you win or lose or break even, it gets increasingly more difficult to trade effectively for most people. It's a generalization, but that's what those books start to touch on. A lot of other stuff also. Tom tells a really long story, a lot of story about his life. Same with Mark Douglas. Different examples from life to think about. But great books, man. Excellent books. Glancing over here at Bookmat. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, choppy day, man. Choppy day. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask them. You guys asked some good ones, so I appreciate you being here. If you got questions, feel free to ask while we're watching ES, waiting to see if we're going to break up or down. Even if we do, I don't know that I'm taking a trade yet, but I'm going to wait to see. Maybe we get some action coming in towards the last 2 hours of NYSE session here. We'll see what we can get. Yeah, man. The response I got from posting that story about Bookmap was really was really interesting. A lot of people want to hear about Bookmap, so I'm gonna put some time into it for sure, and let you guys know what I think, and try to give myself the appropriate amount of time to not only learn it, but to build the experience on it, be able to read it and apply it to some trading, for sure. Oh, outside of that, man, hang around and see if we can get some movement out of ES. Look at looking at forexfactory.com again. Yeah, man, we got new. It's going to be tough for the rest of the week for the morning session. It's news every morning, red folder. I'm glad I got after it this morning and it worked out, because I don't know that I'm going to have a great opportunity. 9:30 and 10 tomorrow, red folder USD. Wednesday, 8:15, 8:30, 10, and 2 p.m. Holiday on Thursday, 8:30, big one for USD on Friday. So it's going to be tough. Going to be tough. Going to be trading around those. That's going to be the game plan. I'll take a look and see if how many combines I have to get through, and if there's any need for growing or blowing any of them. I'll bracket one or two of these and see if we can make those work. I think I'm probably about break even. I have to go through and actually look at the numbers, but I'm probably about break even doing that when it comes to losses to wins on it. But I keep watching the videos of the guys doing it. Yeah, man. I'll join the Discord. Awesome, man. Yeah, hop in the Discord. Happy to have you guys there. It's been really fun building that Discord out. A lot of great guys, a lot of people contributing. Beginners, profitable traders. We got guys in there, with multiple combines. Guys in there in XFAs that are making money. Congrats to my man Marcus. Everybody give Marcus a virtual round of applause. Good job, Marcus. He is eligible for a payout with TopStep in his XFA. He's got quite a bit of money in there. Take a payout, Marcus. Want to give you the attaboy for that, though. Well done, man. Not many traders make it to that level, so it's awesome. Growing or blowing, that sounded like my strategy. Yeah, man. Again, I won't go through the whole combine thing, but if you get yourself a lot of combines, you have a time limit on them. There's only so many that you could trade. Even if you copy trade them, but you can run yourself up against the wall and need to make something happen. News is a great way to grow or blow an account right away. I don't know about for an everyday strategy, but that's what I would call YOLOing a news event, bracketing news, You get to a pass or fail almost instantaneously. It's not something I would do consistently because there's a whole portion in there where news wicks up and down, and takes you out of the trade for a loss, even if you had the direction right. So, virtual round of applause. Yeah, Marcus, my man. Unemployment up to 4% last week, which is the highest it's been in a couple years. So I'm curious to see if it goes back down or goes higher. Yeah, interesting, man. I'm not the fundamental guy. I think it can be important to everybody doing the hands thing. That's cool. I think it can be helpful to certain guys. I hear the guys that trade live. A lot of them talk about it. They're looking at different numbers that come out. Fundamental stuff. They're taking that into consideration. They're using it as a bias. For me, for the most part, just looking at the chart, that's going to be my MO. Keeping things stupidly simple, just looking at the chart, marking up levels, pulling almost all the information that I'm going to use to make a trading decision from technical analysis. I'm going to pay attention to when news is and maybe other world events, holidays, where we are with all that stuff. But I'm not taking really outside information. It all is going to affect it, but when I go and back test, I'm not taking into consideration something that the Bank of Japan is doing, right? I'm just marking up my levels and then trading accordingly. So, I want to trade that way. So I think there's a certain point where it's just too much information. How much can we really process and utilize in our trading? Which is why I talked about that early on with looking at Bookmap. There's a level for everyone, and I think the less information you have to process to be able to make a trading decision, the better. You need to have as much as you can to make a good trading decision, to be able to structure your risk and and have some kind of edge in the market through your trade management and all that stuff. But I think a lot of guys start to overcomplicate it. Too much information in. You're not realizing that a lot of this is relying on your discretion, your experience, your intuition. That's where the edge comes from in most cases in manual trading. And, you have to focus on that and allow yourself to be able to focus on that to make some real improvement. So we're selling off, coming back towards this VWAP line. Yeah, guys, outside of just like scalping away at this, going for really, really small movements, I don't see too much here. The scalping thing gets kind of tough because all of a sudden the big move comes in, it takes you right out. You've got to take potentially quite a few losses, so you've got to manage risk differently. It's a slow price action, just kind of choppy. When this starts to happen, the only thing that I consider doing is getting much more zoomed in, looking at the tick chart, and just trying to play that market structure in the right direction. When I get more aggressive and I take more trades, I start to trade a little bit more aggressively that way. Again, approach is the same, utilizing the same tools, but I like to use the levels on my chart. I like to take a look at where we are and have everything be lining up and not be in consolidation on every time frame, but the tick chart and me taking shorts because I think we're trending down. None of these moves have had follow through yet at all. We just put a lower low in here. If we're looking at this, zoomed in picture, maybe getting short as we retest kind of the middle of this range is a play to the downside, that this is going to continue down. Not a really great setup for me. been a long 10 months with Forex. TopStep has helped in areas I was struggling with and got a payout in the first month of switching. Says a lot about the firm. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well done. Yeah, you guys have heard me talk about Forex prop firms before. Not the biggest fan, but I'm glad, man. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Just watching to see if this looks like it's going to continue to follow through to the downside. I mean, not really yet. Super slow consolidation towards the end of the day. We might get the big impulsive move that comes, but this doesn't look great, guys. This looks choppy. Like, this looks fun. Fun. Even fun on the way back up, and then choppy. Gun to my head right now, which is the favorite saying that I say I shouldn't say all the time. I'm going short. Stop loss up above this level. On the way down, I think we're likely to see some kind of a fake out move before it moves in one direction or the other. Like, if we're going to continue down, something that would have sold me on it is a push up higher above all of these highs. People call it picking up liquidity. Maybe we could see that in Bookmap. And then continuing to the downside, breaking below lows. That would maybe tell me that we've got lower prices in store, or vice versa. Maybe we need to come down here, which is kind of why I'm saying it. Crack below this low, and we're going to start pushing up. This bullish flag is going to play out. But right now, sideways movement. VWAP's looking flat. Still somewhat bullish based on this move coming back into the zone here. But this to me just looks like consolidation towards the end of the day. And not enough momentum headed towards any of the levels that I could trade to or from. That's what I got right now. Lockout feature is the best. That's the thing that's ever happened to me in trading. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, Marcus, that's funny, man. TopstepX has a lockout feature. So you can lock yourself out of the account. You would do that if you're in profit most of the time. Maybe you would do it if you run yourself into a loss and you don't want to keep trading. You can lock yourself out, hit a button, and you can't go back in and trade it. I don't even think like their support will open it back up for you. But you essentially just lock yourself out to the next day. It can really help with tilt, with revenge trading. Obviously that's something that guys that are trading, day trading, struggle with. And it's a great feature. I think it's a smart feature. I think that only helps the trader, right? I think TopStep has a lot of those features that are cool. Like having features that are genuinely only going to help the trader out. Stand a better chance at making money. And that's a good one. And you'd be surprised how like all the big guys, I mean, some of them I think are using it to display the feature. I gotta say that a little bit. But a lot of those bigger guys use it as well because it's just a no-brainer, right? Like, everybody talks about shutting your computer off, stepping away, after wins or losses. And it's a good feature to have. It's definitely a good feature to have. Hit your profit target or run yourself into profit, lock yourself out. You're done. You don't stand a chance of giving it back away. Or hit your personal loss limit. Maybe it's 2 trades in a row or 3 trades in a row, whatever it is, or a dollar amount, and you're done. You don't stand a chance at going back in and jacking up leverage and and trying to force trades out of the market. So I think it's a good feature for sure. I think it's smart. I think you'll see more. Firms with that feature. I don't know if you'll see brokers with that feature, but you probably see more firms with that. I think it's a smart one for sure. Oh, yeah, this is really not going to give me anything here. Really not going to give me anything. Have to disagree on that, Zach. That we like the feature or we don't like the feature, or that it doesn't help traders or it helps traders. Relaxing Zen. It's okay to disagree here. But tell me what you disagreed on so I can elaborate or agree to disagree. Other firms, I mean. Oh, yeah. Well, one, there's not a lot of like uh, firms that are acting with their own platform like TopstepX. So that's one. And then two, maybe that they don't have a lot of them don't have the trader's best interests in mind. So maybe maybe they won't. Maybe they won't. That's a fair disagreement. If price action is king, risk management is queen. Top Step wants their traders to be more profitable. Even with that narrative, it's a, like I said, greedy. Yeah, even if with that narrative, it's a business and they make money off failing traders. They do. They do. I would say risk management is king. Price action can be queen. It all starts with risk management. But yeah, man, like, if we're talking about, first off, we're just speculating, right? I'm watching this. We're testing the highs of this area. Maybe we break to the upside. I'm not taking a breakout trade. Um, just like when it came down here, I'm not taking a breakout to the downside. But like I was talking about, we did see, if we look over here on the 5-minute chart, we did see price. Here's the range, right? Here. And then here's your lows. We did come down, crack below these lows here, and now we're starting to push back up. That gives me more of an indication that maybe we do head towards pre-market high, not nearly enough to take a trade or a break and retest trade. Not a great way to structure risk, right? Like, where would I place my stop loss on this trade? This is the tick chart, so remember that. If I wanted to get long here at the breakout, somewhere in the middle of the zone, below this candle maybe, or all the way down here, this is the safe spot, right? Like 10 points down, because if it comes all the way back down here, my trading idea is invalidated. Maybe you'd say if it pulls halfway back into this zone, the trading idea is invalidated. I think it can do whatever it wants and then continue up. So, I don't have a great way to structure risk, even if I wanted to take this one on a break and retest, which it looks like it's going to trail towards that. But no super clear indication of that, and no great way to structure risk. NQ went high of day. Interesting. NQ strong. Look at that. Yep, NQ looking much stronger. Don't mind the VWAP. It's not going to be accurate until I zoom all the way out. Yeah, somewhat similar, but NQ popped up quite a bit more. Definitely different structure today, even if I look at the 5-minute. Yeah, this is pre-market, pushed back up much higher. So NQ stronger. Not a ton of follow through on the move though, at least yet. We might see it pull back in and then continue. Let's load the VWAP line on this thing. Again, that's what I'm doing when I scroll all the way out, guys, is let's load the session and the anchored VWAPs on TopstepX. Looks like it wants to pop. Looks like this wants to continue. Got a little bit of structure to trade off of if we wanted to take this. Yeah, just not great risk structure here. At best, I'm getting a stop right below this low, in the middle of this candle. In the middle of the candle, it broke out, and then I'm targeting pre-market high. Maybe past pre-market high. It's not a bad trade. I'm just not getting the warm fuzzy feeling about it. But bullish flag playing out. Whoever said that earlier. If you're trading patterns, you were getting this one right. We'll see if it continues, but yeah, wait and see on this one. Yeah, just looking at bookmap. Yeah, I don't know that I don't know the buyers have it in them to carry this thing higher. Um, I don't know. I don't know that they do. It looks like it wants to do this slow trail towards pre-market high. Buy here, target, maybe get a 1-to-1 out of it. Stop loss somewhere down here is not terrible. This was your break and retest right there, right? Like if this is the top of the zone, you got your nice break and retest on the tick chart and the continuation higher. But I don't love this setup at all. Don't love it. Don't love the structure with these lows down here. But we'll hang. We'll hang to see what we get. We're right at the top of highs from earlier in the day. I won't do this on the tick chart. Over here, looking at the 5-minute, right? Here's your high over here from the open. Definitely got some consolidation up here. This set of highs. I'd be surprised if it doesn't go up and test pre-market high. Moment of silence, actually, extreme focus. Yeah, when I finally stop talking for a minute, yeah, I start doing the analysis. That's the zooming in and looking. Again, I was considering it. I was considering it from right here. This is not a terrible setup. I could get away with this saying this follows my entry model where yes, we broke up. We got to, who cares about entry model? Forget about all that, man. It's discretion anyway. We'll buy and sell whenever we decide to. We'll make rules about it. So forget the entry model. Pushing up, right? We were above high of day VWAP, anchored VWAP. We're above all the VWAPs. We had some gnarly selling pressure, and then we're back into this zone. So I think consolidation is most likely. But that being said, consolidated here, cracked below the lows, started to push up, broke above. We got a little break and retest on the tick chart. Maybe that's enough for me to say, hey, I'm cool getting long with a stop loss below this level and just targeting, pre-market high for a little 1-to-1. It's not as favorable as something with a lot nicer risk structure, as if all this price action was maybe way down here and we were going to head towards pre-market high as a target, and I would have much more room to capture a 1-to-1 or further. So the deciding factor on this one for me personally is risk structure. Just not as favorable as I would like it to be. I don't have to wait for the perfect setup, the perfect trade every time. I take quite a few trades that don't meet that criteria. But as long as it meets all of my criteria, it's worth putting risk on in the market. I go for it. This one was almost there. It's almost there. No wick to the downside on this candle. Maybe we crack down back in here and continue, but I'm probably not going to get a trade out of this one, guys. Oh. Every trader knows. Yeah, man. Thought the stream froze. Yeah. That's funny. I got quiet. Yeah, no, I mean, you got to focus up. I get on here and talk a lot. I'm watching the market. But when it comes time to do some critical thinking, I usually focus up. But yeah, gonna wait and see on this. 221. I'll probably give it about another 15-20 minutes, see if something develops that makes sense taking. I'm tempted to give it a shot on the buy. Could even look at scaling into this. I like watching this structure form. I do think it's less likely to just start disrespecting this uptrend that it's made and trailing down. But I do think it can consolidate. I think we can kind of just chop around here for a while. And I don't really want to be caught in that. Yeah, plus I think a pullback here is fine. This isn't setting up for me. I want it to, but it's not giving me what I need. Anyway, yeah, we're talking prop firms. Topstep. Topstep's pretty sweet. We were making a comment about whether or not they're making money off failing traders. Look, I think the real prop firm model is you're making money both ways, right? You're making money if your traders are failing, and you're making money when they're making money because you have a pathway that gets them from sim accounts into live accounts the way Topstep does. You support them with all the tools that you possibly can for them to trade profitable. You want to build professional traders and get them into live accounts where you're going to make money with that information and with them making money. I think in the Forex world and like the HFT prop firms in the Forex world and the fly-by-night stuff, it's much more of that B-book model where we're going to take your money and we're not going to do anything with your trades because we know 90% of you are going to lose, and our rules are really, really strict, really hard. Almost nobody makes it to a payout, and the guys that do, we'll just pay them from the pool of money. And the focus is much more on how strict the rules are and how unfavorable they are to the trader, in hopes of nobody ever really making it big. So I'd have to say that if there's a firm out there that I've seen that does everything that it would seem like they can to support traders and puts their face behind everything, their name behind everything, this is a big Topstep is great conversation, but it's Topstep. That's what I've seen. It's what I've seen with their traders that trade on live, the way they talk about those accounts, the way they're constantly providing free education, coming up with features like the lockout feature. A lot of different things just point to that direction. And they have a very real pathway to getting to a live account and charging you the fees and making you a professional trader. You have to sign off on all that, and trading live funds with them. If a firm doesn't have that, or the pathway is just absolutely insane, it doesn't make any sense, it kind of raises the question as to why. Does nobody ever make it there that far? Do they not want guys to make it that far? What's the reasoning behind that? So, and then just even the stuff that you hear once guys do make it to that account. They have conversations with the risk management team. They have different parameters. It's not a set in stone type of a thing. It's a really interesting relationship. So just something to consider when you're looking at when we're talking about like the firm's objectives and where they're making their money. Does TopStep make a ton of money from traders failing? I'm sure they do. I'm sure all the firms do. That's part of the business model. But I do think they have probably a high number of traders that are taking payouts from XFAs, and they have a real pathway to this live account with all these all these different parameters. Most guys, should you be really thinking about the live account or any of that stuff? Probably not, right? It's like thinking about what color. I made the comment in Discord. We were talking about it. It's like thinking about what color your Lamborghini should be while you're riding your bicycle to work. You should probably think about buying the Toyota Corolla first and not worrying about even the color of it. But look down the road, understand the firm, understand everything. All the way back down. Breakout did not follow through. Any trade, that's their bread and butter. Yeah. Any trade I took would not have played nicely with me. Stop loss below here would have been a problem. Stop loss down into the middle of this area would be probably getting hit right about now. We got expansion here, guys. We came down, continued to put lower lows in. We broke up, put a higher high in. I'm glad I sat on the sidelines. I didn't get long right here. That would have sucked. Nothing here is telling me to get long, to get short. Yes, we came right up to this area. Like I was talking about, we're kind of testing this area here. I did say I'd be surprised if it didn't go test pre-market high, which it's not doing yet. So I just don't have anything. Anything that I would have taken would have been a loss, or it would have chopped around earlier. But at this point, probably been a loss. So we broke down and then we broke up. So we're still hanging out, still here. Is this a deep pullback and then we're going to see a continuation? Are we going to do we trap everybody long and now we're going to head back down? We got movement outside of this, initial area here. So we could be getting set up for something. So just going to wait to see what we get from here. Discord. There we go. My man said check Discord. Bull flag. Very nice, man. Very nice. Very nice, man. Yeah, I mean that's I saw very similar. Saw the same thing here. Looking at that, if you trade chart patterns or you utilize them, that's awesome, man. Nice. Yeah, I'll probably make it till about 245. Just the easy ones. I feel you, man. I feel you. Yeah, it's just all about how do I summarize this? I think there's some tools in technical analysis that everybody should be aware of, the kind of universal stuff that we should be aware of. And then when it gets to the deciding when to enter, when to get involved, when to structure risk, it's all about finding stuff that speaks to you, stuff that you can interpret and that resonates with you, your personality, the way you visualize things. For me, maybe it's horizontal levels on the chart, maybe it's VWAP lines, maybe it's order flow coming up here. For someone else, maybe it's chart patterns. They really they can see chart patterns on the chart. They get the conviction when they see them that they've seen this play out so many times. It allows them to quickly react and structure risk. I think that's fine. Same thing with Fibonacci and a bunch of other tools. There's not, I think, one that's inherently right and inherently wrong. The trading's just not black and white that way, especially not manually trading like this. So, I'm a fan of whatever works for you. That's the deal. So find something that speaks to you, practice with that, back test with it, make sure there's, a logical reason that you should be using it, that, it helps. You can find some edge in the market, and then, just continue to get experience with that. So I feel that that's where a lot of the edge comes from in this, is discretion and intuition and experience, built through experience. Discretion and intuition built through your own experience. For me to say, hey, you know what? This is a break and retest of this zone, and I've taken trades like this before, and I can structure risk, but I don't like it. I'm reading the context of this specific price action because it's not exact, and I just don't like that trade. And it doesn't, it fits maybe my rules if I wrote out all these rules, but I'm not going to take it because I don't think it's going to work out. Save myself a trade. Great. Another one, maybe I say, hey, you know what? I feel like I'm a little bit early. If I had to check off a whole bunch of check boxes, maybe I wouldn't be able to take this trade, but I don't have to do that. I'm applying my experience and intuition. I think this is going to move based on an objective reason, something that I'm looking at on the chart for me, objective for me, not just, emotion, and I take the trade. That's part of discretionary trading. It's important to note that. And I'm not a big believer in concrete black and white rules-based systems with objectively defined rules. If that stuff worked, code it into a bot or an EA, and we would all kick back. That's the thing I always say. We'd kick back on the beach drinking margaritas or something, be making money. Doesn't really work. Doesn't really work that way. All the way back down, below the prior low, tested VWAP. This is a bunch of garbage, guys. Yeah, I got nothing here. That was my focusing in for a minute. They're easy ones until I go on tilt, and that's how. But yeah, don't go on tilt. Definitely don't go on tilt. You have to apply. Here's the thing. Let me expand on that thought. I believe trading manually, applying your discretion and intuition and experience is all good things. That's how we develop and create an edge in the markets to a big degree. You still have to apply some strict risk management. You have to find a way to control risk, and you should have consistency, especially in your risk management and in your approach to the markets. I'm not talking about trading discretionary, saying one day I'm going to trade support and resistance on the 5-minute, and then the next day I'm going to trade with EMA crossover on the 30-second. Like that not that at all. You have to have some consistency in the way that you approach the market every day. You don't know if the next trade is going to be a winner or a loser. You have to apply your approach to the market, your risk management, and let the trade play out. Whether it's a winner or a loser, that's fine. So going on tilt, trading emotionally, over trading, revenge trading, messing with risk management, all that type of stuff, recipe for disaster, no matter how you trade. So, and I think discretionary trading and not trading with a rules-based system, it's harder, right? Because you are allowing yourself more flexibility, more freedom. So it's even more of the reason that you have to journal and keep your emotions in check and your mindset, correct for trading. But yeah, you definitely have to apply consistency to your trading, especially with risk management. You have to have a risk management plan. You should know with every trade what you're going to put on. A lot of different ways you can approach it, but yeah, no tilt. That's the thing, risk management. Yeah, risk management is king, man. That's the name of that's what we can control here, right? I can't control what the market's going to do at all. I can control when I press the buy and sell button over here, and I can control where I put my stop loss. I decide that. The market doesn't decide that. Nobody else decides that, not the broker, not anything. Where my fill is exactly going to be, maybe sometimes, there's nuances to that, but how much risk I'm going to put on the market, I decide that for every trade. When I'm going to enter, when I'm going to exit, how I'm going to manage my trade, that's the stuff that I can control. Focus on that. Don't focus on predicting the market or trying to control the market or force your way onto the market. Control your risk and build from that mindset. That's definitely the way to go. My bias is short for today. That's just me and risk management, everything. Yeah, man. I feel you. So for me, talking about biases, and I'll wrap this up kind of soon, guys. Again, I'm not going to apologize ever on here for not taking trades. I want to take trades. I want to get some action in. If it's not there, I'm not going to take it. Anything I'd taken would have been a loss today. So I can be happy to say that I didn't take a loss on this combine. But I'll talk about biases quick. And if you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask while I'm hanging out. It's been nice to do a full live, back in action here. I'll be live all week. We'll watch some crazy stuff after news maybe. For me, coming to the chart, coming to like the S&P chart on the low time frames at 9:30 and in the afternoon, I try my best not to marry a bias. That's the term for it. Not to have too strong of a bias. I like to start on the 30-minute time frame, or the even higher actually, the 4-hour, the daily. That's where I mark my prior day high and low. From the daily, drop down to the 30-minute, take a look at where we're at, really zoomed out. It's not so much to create a bias for the way that I'm going to trade all day, but it's to understand where we are. Hey, have we been absolutely tearing up and we're at all-time highs? Are we at an area that we've tested as support or resistance multiple times? Are we consolidating? Are we selling off really aggressively? That gives me some frame of reference, maybe it's a bias, into that trading day, into what I can expect. And more so, not what I can expect or predict. If we're here in this market structure, if this happens, if we get below these lows, if we get above these highs, if we come back into this range, then maybe this happens. So it can start to just give you a frame of reference. On the overall bias each day, I've found anytime I come into the market with a strong bias, I think this is going to happen based on market structure, price action, whatever reason I have, I end up just giving money back to the market because I can't move past that. I'm not reading price and interpreting price action as it's printing and the trend that's printing for the day. I'm trying to will my bias onto the market, and I get smoked if I'm wrong. If I'm right, it's great, but you're not always right. Market's unpredictable, and on low time frames, the way that I trade, I really can't bring too much of that bias in. One thing I will say that I've noticed, and I talked about in a long voice message that I set in Discord. If you're not in Discord, hop in Discord. Sometimes I ramble on for 10 minutes about stuff that I think might be helpful. When you zoom out on the, I don't know how far TopstepX goes back. When you zoom out on the U.S. indices, right? Where have they been trending over time? They're trending up, right? U.S. indices, stocks only go up. Long America, right? When we've zoomed in on the chart for the daily, where has this trend been over the past year, right? Here's 2024. Here's the start of the year. Here's 2023. It's been up, right? As we zoom in down onto the 1 hour and the 5 minute, what we found is a lot of structure like this. So I would have done a lot better to have a little bit more of that long America bias, be a little more cautious trying to short the U.S. indices, and maybe be a little more aggressive trying to long the U.S. indices because the trend's on your side. You're trading in the direction of that trend. Are there days where the market is absolutely going to sell off and you need to be going short if you're on low time frames? For sure, man. Absolutely. But there's a reason guys like to quote on Top Step call themselves a permabull in the U.S. markets. Just buy America. You're trading along with that higher time frame trend, and a lot of times, especially when that trend is aligning on multiple time frames all the way up to your trading time frame, going short can be difficult to do. And if I look at my data, I tend to go short. More often than I go long. I for whatever reason or another, maybe that's the way my mind works, but that's what my data shows. That's what it is. I short more than I go long. And as of recent, on more of my short trades, I've lost, and I've made a lot more on my long trades. The longer held trades, the big winners, the big risk to rewards, they've almost all been long trades. Today I went short. I did well. Went long on some stuff, caught some bounces. But there's something to be said for having that understanding of whatever instrument you're trading, and maybe it's not forever. What's the higher time frame trend, out to the daily? What's the 1 hour looking like? Where are you within that cycle? And maybe it's a bias. I don't like to use that term, but having that understanding, that frame of reference, and yeah, maybe it is a bias. Maybe that's the accurate term, and applying that a little bit in your trading, in your trading. So, that's the thought process. Well, again, when we're at all-time highs in the U.S. indices, and we've been pushing up week after week after week, every week we're at a higher price, there's more ticks in the upward direction than there are in the downward direction, right? That's how we're getting to these higher prices. So if you're fighting the trend the whole time, trying to find the top and short the market, you're probably going to have a worse day than the guy who's just buying it, finding a good spot for a pullback, finding a level to trade off of, finding a way to structure risk, and getting long. And again, maybe it's an inverse deal on a different asset that's been selling off for years. Maybe find something that consolidates a ton. Having that higher time frame picture makes sense. Again, for me, marrying a bias coming into the trading day before the open and saying, I think it's going to go down and I'm ready to short it aggressively and I'm probably not going to take a long, I get smoked on any time that I've done that. And I find it best to go in really flexible, let my bias be wrong, flip quickly, read price action as it's printing on the low time frames and flow along with that. That rambling is the real deal. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, awesome, man. My man says, at least for me, since I found out about you, I can really say you've changed my trading. I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. I try not to fill the chat or these sessions with just BS. I try not to just talk about myself or hype anything up for no reason. I try to make it valuable conversations. I try to frame it in the way that I wish somebody spoke to me this way earlier on, and make it valuable information. So I'm happy, man. Happy you got some value out of it. David says, I agree 100%. I guess a better way of saying is I wanted to short today. When in doubt, zoom out. Yeah. No, it's all good, man. But yeah, when in doubt, zoom out. Understand where you are in that higher time frame cycle, all the way down to the time frame that you're trading on, and and utilize that. Apply that trend, or where you are. That's the bread and butter, man, of trading with market structure. Yeah. So I'm probably going to wrap it up here, guys. I got nothing today. This is a whole bunch of choppy BS. Here's when I jumped on. Here's what we've looked at. This was a spike up before. Bunch of sideways price action. We've made some lower lows here. This high would have been a fake out. I'm sure guys got trapped on the way up here. I don't have anything on my chart at all saying that something's going to develop where I want to start trading. The only thing I'd be sitting around here waiting for is, 3 o'clock, 3:10, looking for an impulsive move and trying to jump in on that. I don't really want to do that. That's not the way that I want to trade right now. And I don't think anything's going to form really cleanly where I want to get short or I want to get long. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Hope you guys found this YouTube live useful. Hop in the free Discord. Again, if you're not in the free Discord, I put out a ton of stuff for free. You could ask me questions in there after this about the tools I use, the way that I trade, anything trading related. I'll be live on YouTube every afternoon, 1 p.m. Hopefully we'll get some more exciting price action. We'll get some trading in the afternoon. But market analysis, talking about news, talking about everything that goes into profitable trading in that free Discord. If you want to work with me one-on-one, it's something I do offer. I don't push it. If you're serious about your trading, you want to accelerate your path to profitability, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. We can decide together if it's something that makes sense for you to invest money into. Make sure you read the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that you see or hear me do here or anywhere else is financial advice. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. You're probably going to lose all or more of the money that you dedicate to trading. Make sure you read the full disclaimer. It's in the description of this video. Make sure you read CFTC Rule 4.41 or whatever it is on simulated trading in prop firms. And make sure you read the full disclaimer and terms and conditions and privacy policy on my site, realdealfutures.com. Thank you guys for being here. If you found this helpful, happy trading. Thanks, man. If you found this helpful, feel free to like the video or don't like the video. It's all good. Totally up to you. Subscribe if you like. If you don't want to subscribe, no problem, man. Free means free with me. It means you don't have to do anything. Other than that, guys, I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you in Discord. Thanks again for being here.